As you can gather, crew, I made it home. I did. It was a fair trek. I can't really remember. I don't even know how many kilometers I've done. I was that tired when I got home, but probably, I don't know, maybe about 3,000, maybe. I could probably work it out, actually. Hang on a minute. Let me try and find a pic. Because I always take, for the fuel card, for the truck, I always take a photo of the odometer. And somewhere in here will be a photo of the odometer. Okay, so it might be that one. Let's have a look. More details. When was that taken? That was taken on the 23rd. When did I go? Honestly, my brain is completely frazzled at the moment. Let's have a little look. 23rd. Just waiting for the calendar to open. Oh, Domino's pizza. Nice. Right, so just going back a little bit. 23rd was the Friday of April. Friday. Did I? No, I've been coming home since then, so there might be another one. Let's see when that one is. Details. Oh, I bought 2 tanks of fuel on the Friday. What the hell? There's a new one. Right, where's the next one up? Let's try that one. Bear with me. I'm interested. Details. 27th. That's more like it, isn't it? 27th. Tuesday. Yes. Heading back down from Auckland. So that was sort of the set off. And you can work this out. So mileage was 159,219. Okay, 159,219. And the most recent one, which won't be all of them actually, the most recent one was 162,011. So 159. So just, yeah, actually 159. About 2,800. Am I right? Something like that. It was a fair trek anyway. I'm pretty buggered, in all honesty. I've been busy once since I've got home. Let me just get this whole thing set up because I haven't even got you on the screen yet. Honestly, I just bumble away to the camera. There we go. That's the one we want. Do you like the framing of the photo, by the way, the thumbnail? It took me a while, clambering on my workbench to get it right. Oh, that's a good coffee. I made that myself. Not that Mrs. Mechanic can't make coffees, but I've just made it, so it's warm. In fact, it's quite hot. Roger Heaps, good morning. Andy, good morning, Roger. Great to have you in the workshop, matey. Hope the house move is going well. As you can see from the thumbnail, your TF185 made it to the workshop intact. Didn't even lose the seat cover. Thought that was pretty professional. Simon Rawl looks a good haul of bikes. Yes, we're going to do a bit of a tour a bit later on. Thank you, Simon, and good to have you in the workshop, matey. Mike Bazansky, good morning. Nice looking herd. Yes. I mean, there's a bit of patina there, but that only adds value, doesn't it? Connor Kay, good morning, Andy and crew. Good morning, Connor, and a privilege, sir, to have you in the workshop. Off-road fan, good evening, Andy and crew. Good evening, off-road fan. Jim Haynes is also in the workshop. All these regular names. It's great to have you guys here. It really is. We're all here smashing the like button. Good job, Jim. Well done. And I really appreciate you asking people to do that because I'm useless. I am terrible. I just don't say it. And it's one of the things as a creator making videos, you should say all the time. And I just don't ever say it. Bob Kinney. Morning, Bob. Hello, Andy. Coming to you from Daytona Beach. Oh, mate, honestly. Daytona. I bet there's some sights there. I've heard stories about Daytona Beach, and I've seen it in movies. What an amazing place. It'd be nice to be there right now, actually. Well, maybe you wouldn't. I don't know. Fly on the wall or on the sand. I don't know. Edwin Torres. Oh, my word. Hello, Andy from Puerto Rico. Good morning, Edwin. Great to have you on board, matey. Now, let me scroll down because there's bound to be a lot more comments. Or maybe that's it. Maybe I've caught up. Right. I'm going to have my breakfast. There is no pie. And he spent all his money on his trip to the South Island. I am absolutely stony broke. But it's all right. It's not a problem. I've got one last cigarette left. But it's payday on Friday. So on Friday, I can have another cigarette. So in actual fact, I'll have my cigarette first, and then maybe I'll have my breakfast. I found this in the cupboard. I don't know how old it is. Has it got best before on it? I don't know. It still crinkles. Is that a good sign? Okay, so there's no best before. It did come out of a multi-pack, so maybe it was on the multi-pack. Should I eat this? I don't know how old it is. There, look. It's a sad sight, isn't it? But I spent all my money on motorbikes. I mean, I didn't buy all of them. I was given some of them, obviously. But in actual fact, I bought another one. I bought a quad bike. It's not in the picture. It can't be in the picture. It's the wrong brand for the YouTube channel. Bit of a shame. It's outside. Maybe one day you'll get to find out what it is I bought. I don't know. Can't tell you. Secret. I had planned to put it in the middle of all the bikes and put a sheet over it. But the only part that's not genuine is recently it had the seat cover redone. So the seat cover itself isn't a genuine part. So that could have shown on the channel. And of course, the non-genuine seat cover is hiding the genuine foam and the genuine seat base. So the whole seat could actually have appeared on the channel because you wouldn't have been able to see the two latter mentioned components. So I was going to put a sheet over the whole bike and then plonk the seat back on the bike and then turn the headlights on, because the light emitted from the headlights isn't genuine manufacturer light. It's just the component that you can't see. So that was the plan, but I ran out of time. So you've got to imagine that as a thumbnail. Maybe I'll do it later on and stick it on the video when I modify the thumbnail with all the bits and pieces, but I don't know. I just thought it was... I woke up this morning thinking, that's the thumbnail we need. That's the thumbnail. Oh my. Doctor of Computers has just done a, what's it called? A super chat. $20 US, mate. Thank you very much. That will buy me a packet of cigarettes. But to be fair, I won't spend it on cigarettes because it just burns them away, doesn't it? I don't know. Maybe I'll buy a tool for the workshop, something that we'll be able to keep forever. Anyway, let me go back. So thank you very much. I'll keep referring back to that one. That was absolutely awesome. I've not had a $20 super chat for a very long time, to be honest. I'd actually forgotten that they were even still turned on. Buy some food and cigarettes. Cheers, matey. I appreciate that. Yeah, the old trip to the South Island, it was actually quite expensive. I bought something. I'll show you maybe on the next live stream because I don't want to confuse you all with the stuff. But I did buy. We were wandering around Picton, and we were waiting for the ferry because we were early. I got Mrs. Mechanic out of bed at 20. Well, I got out of bed at 20 past 4 in the morning. On the, what day was it? On the Wednesday. That was it. It wasn't a good sight, to be honest. Not that early in the morning. Anyway, we hot-footed it up to Picton. We made good time. We made really good time. I always allow an extra hour for problems, especially when you turn a trailer. You know, you could get a puncture or whatever, or straps come loose and you've got to tie down again. So it's always prudent to leave a little bit of spare time. And then, of course, we had the hour lag time once you've checked in. So we had a wander around Picton, had a coffee. I did some work emails and stuff. And we spotted in a shop a drum. And this drum had it was a retro. It wasn't original. It was a retro style. Had lots of garage stickers on it and stuff. And it was actually a stool as well. It had a foam top. And it wasn't badly priced, to be honest. So I spent the last of my money on that. And it now lives in the lounge. And Mrs. Mechanic likes it because she can put her feet on it when she's on a chair watching TV. and it looks pretty cool. So I bought myself a present. Although Mrs. Mechanic basically uses it, it just adds to the aesthetics of the lounge. It looks really good. So thank you very much again, Doctor of Computers. I am anything but a doctor of computers. All I can do, right, is take the lid off gingerly and then blast it out with an airline just to get all the dust out and then put it back on again. If it goes wrong, I have no idea. Luckily, at work, we have an IT department, so they fix things for me. Right, just reading it back. Oh my word. Right, okay, I'm catching up. Jim K. Jim, I have an apology. Jim keeps trying to ring me, and every time he rings me, I'm busy. You caught me clambering out of the shower one morning, Jim. My sincere apologies. Ring my work number, because that's my car phone. And I'll be driving up to Auckland tomorrow morning. New Zealand time. I should be away from here about 7:30. I know that's late, but I'm still tired. And you shouldn't drive when you're tired. So 7:30 in the morning, New Zealand time. So an hour before today's live stream. And it'll take me about 3.5 hours to get to Auckland. So anytime during that time, feel free to give me a call, Jim, and we'll have a right good chat on the phone while I'm driving, which is fine. I enjoy the company, to be honest. It's the best time to call me is when I'm driving. If you call me at any other time, I'm normally busy doing something else. It needs to be on the work number, because that's the hands-free thing. I don't like using the phone when I'm driving because there's lots of policemen around and it is a bit distracting. But the hands-free is easy. So work number, okay, Jim? Jim K got a car stuck on Daytona Beach, lol. What the hell? Hopefully the tide didn't catch you out. Bob Kinney, I'm on my bike. Not getting that stuck on the beach. Good man. Simon Roll, pauper's breakfast today, lol. Yes. Actually, to be fair, after that pie that I had in Invercargill, it was really, really dry and cold because it was really cold down there. Well, it wasn't really cold, but it was cold. And I was cold. I was only wearing a shirt and I should have worn my jacket. Yeah, I sort of stood back from the pies for a little bit. It was that bad. It really put me off having another pie. I did have 2 more during the week, but I had to, I only purchased known good pies. We are definitely going to do a pie. I can't call it a pie chart because classic name, I know, but it's not a chart, is it? It's a list. It's like a top 10 or 20 or whatever it's going to be. So on the Tool Girl cupboard, I'm going to move Lily's. I can't stick my fingers today. I'm going to move Lily's picture, stick it underneath the sign, and then we've got a full door to use. And I'll source some of that magnetic strip stuff, and we'll do a proper, New Zealand top 10 pies, maybe, or something like that. And we'll do a little report every now and again. I thought it was a really good idea because I am on the road a lot, and I do eat a few pies from all over New Zealand. So yeah, that'd be fun. We'll do that. So keep reminding me, I need to do that, but I will do that. Now then, what year's the quad bike? Oh, Jim's probing. Well, Jim, it has white wheels. There's a clue. So you have a little look back in your archive. You might even remember actually what quad bikes were made by said manufacturer that had white wheels. There you go. A clue. I'll keep giving you clues, and we'll see if you guess it by the end of the live stream. And anybody else, you're welcome to join in by any means, or by all means. By any means, it's a TV series. Very good, Charlie Borman. Really, I enjoyed that. Now then, right, Simon, Banshee 350. I wish it was. I honestly, that's still on the list, and I know where one is. I've got my eye on it, and I'm working on it. I'm playing the long game with it. Ben really wants a Banshee 350, and this particular Banshee 350 has won New Zealand championships. It's very, very fast. Although it's set up for oval racing, so it needs a bit of, to put it back to standard configuration. If I was to do that, but I'm never going to do any oval racing, so I probably will. It'll need a bit of work, but engine-wise, goes like stink. Doctor of Computers, just got to your your donation again. So again, thank you very much. I really, really appreciate that. Jim K. He's having a think. He's pondering. We'll do the Andy pondering look. How's that? Does that work? Bob Kinney and more coffee. We're doing okay. We've got some coffee. It's in the sachets that I stole from the hotels, but you know, got to keep costs down. You know that, right? Bob Kinney. Yes, and more coffee. Dr. Computers. YW buddy. YW buddy. No, you're my favorite YouTube personality. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much. I'd really appreciate it. It's great to have you guys on board. It really is. Jim Haynes. Being in Commonwealth country, how come everything is metric on New Zealand, unlike England? No, England is pretty much metric these days. We still talk about feet and inches and pounds and that kind of stuff, but the current generation and even my generation, we're like, well, feet and inches. I tend to use as a generic reference to something about that sort of length for a foot, you know. So you sort of casually say, oh, it's about 6 foot long, but when you actually measure it, or I measure it in metric. I know it's a bit bizarre, isn't it? But we are in general metric now, and actually it's legal to be. Everything's got to have a metric quantity applied to it, and you rarely see things in pounds and ounces. I suppose when in the cooking world they still use that kind of stuff, but I don't do any cooking, so I just do a tin of baked beans, and you just open the tin, and that's all you have to do, and then cook it and eat it. Oh my word, hang on. Ismail Pala, I love you, Andy Mechanic. Well, thank you very much. A bit of love goes a long way. Simon Roll, rate my pie New Zealand. Okay, Simon, that's the title. That's good enough for me. I'll go with that. And mate, you deserve a place in this workshop. You really do. I was actually thinking, after I did all those toolbox tour videos, and there was a lot of them. That's it. Cigarette gone. No more cigarettes. Mrs. Mechanic, we're raiding the house for change now. And she'll be heading down to the shops in the hope she's got enough for some more cigarettes. So yes, I was thinking about the toolbox tour thing, and there's about 130 drawers, as you know, in this workshop at the moment, and there no doubt will be more. I'm sure there will be. I was considering naming some of the drawers after regular YouTubers. So watch this space. If you want your name on a drawer, let me know. Send me an email. It would be a privilege. It really would. And I mean, many of you have sent tools and stuff to the workshop, so there are drawers around with your tools in. So naturally, that will be your drawer. So yes, Simon, you're going to get a drawer, mate. You are. Roger Heaps, move the piano from upstairs of the old house to the new. Oh my God, pianos are not fun to move at all. So the new house yesterday, better be last time. Yeah, I vowed when I moved down to this house. I know I've owned this house for a long time. Never again. I would never ever move again. Yet Mrs. Mechanic has the idea that we might, well, she's got the proposed plan, that we might go and live in the South Island at some point. I think we're down to 5 years. So, I don't know. I can't leave this workshop behind. I'd have to disassemble this entire workshop and take it down on the big trailer and put it back up down there again. There is no way I'm leaving this behind. No way at all. Or at least, I don't know, at least take the beams, maybe, all the steel work, and then reconstruct it down there. That's probably the best idea, isn't it? And just put up some, I don't know, something to hold the roof up. I don't know. A lot of work went into this workshop, though. I don't want to get rid of it. But then again, I did say to her, I don't want to sell this house either, so maybe this workshop would stay in the North Island, and this would be the North Island workshop, and we'd have a new workshop in the South Island. Rather than build a big shed in the garden here, we build it down there. So that, I don't know, I can't get rid of this place. I love this little workshop. I think it's awesome. I've never owned any other property than this one. Every other house I've lived in that's had a garage has been rented, and I would never have considered doing anything like this extent of work in a rented garage because it's not yours. Connie, Jim K, how much does a 350 go for? Well, the last 350 Banshee, that was the new one that was sold in Australia, the last one, I believe it was auctioned off. I can't remember all the details. I'm not sure even if they gave the money to charity or not, but it fetched quite a lot of money. It went for a lot more than the normal price for a dealer to buy. But yeah, it was auctioned. I know it was auctioned off, but I don't know where any monies that were over and above went to. Probably most likely went to charity. They're good like that. They really are. But yeah, there's no more new ones around, and secondhand, you don't see them up for sale very often. I don't know. Oh, Doctor of Computers, YW equals you're welcome. See, I'm useless when it comes to digital messaging. Thank you very much again. Really appreciate that. Simon Roll, is it a 700cc with a Y in it? No, it's not. It's not. Can I give you another clue? I should give you another clue. It's exactly half of that in capacity. There you go. Another clue. Mike Bazanski, Raptor 700. It isn't. I do like the old Raptor 700. They're good fun on the dunes because they've got plenty of grunt. But in all honesty, I have no need for a Raptor 700. I've got two Raptor 350s from the UK, fully road legal, may I add, if you're in Europe. Unfortunately, New Zealand are completely against any ATVs being used on the public road, other than for farmers, and the farmers never put a number plate on them anyway, so they just ride around illegally. No helmets. Regularly, I see 2, if not 3 people on a quad bike. No helmets, no number plates, just buzzing up and down the road. I even see it here in the village. Terrible. John Nuttall, Lambda Motorcycles, largest online retailer of CT110 postie parts in Australia. So I'm told, Andy. Well, you've obviously spotted that bike. That is very, very useful because that bike is going to get a restoration done on it. It has to do. I've been wanting a CT110 for a few years, and there is actually a ride that they do once a year. I've not seen it publicised recently. I don't think it happened last year, obviously, but they do a CT110, 2 or 3 day ride somewhere. I think it's in the North Island. So I'm going to check that out, and maybe in a year or 2 years' time, when the bike's all done and on the road, I will be doing that postie run. I will. For sure. I'm looking forward to that. Should be an awesome little bike. Even Mrs. Mechanic can just about touch the ground when she's sat on it. So she'd love to ride that thing around to the shops and stuff. Connor K, it would be a drag if you had to move again, considering all the effort you put into fixing up your shop. Yes, Connor, it would. And I'm going to find it very, very difficult. It's only a proposal at this point in time. And even then, I won't be selling this property. There is no way I'm selling this place. It's a great little base. Yes, it's old. Yes, it's a bit shabby. Yes, it's quite small. Yes, the garden's a mess, but it's full of bikes. But it's my home, and it's one that I've worked very, very hard to get. I actually bought it when I was still in the UK, believe it or not. And house prices here in New Zealand are ridiculous. Even just trying to get a bit of land in the South Island will be pretty expensive, I think. Banana Brooks, come on, you tease, show us the barn finds. You want to see the bikes, don't you? Okay, one more. Addicted. Oh, come on now. I can't even say your name on this channel. Who do you think makes the best two-stroke engine, Honda or Yamaha? Well, considering the ultra success of the YZ250s and the 125s, I would have to say that out of those two manufacturers, Yamaha make the best two-stroke engines. I would. I would like to see fuel injected two strokes from Yamaha. I really, really would like to see that. And then I would like to see a retro two stroke fuel injected RD or RZ, depending on where you live in the world, 350. Yes, something that has got YPVS and, pulls wheelies in every gear, whether you want to or not. One that churns out the smoke that smells like a two-stroke. I actually started up one of the TF125s, the newer one. I didn't even plan to buy it. I just got to I went past the bike. I've got to change my story a little bit to try and, keep some things a secret. But went past a bike shop, actually stopped there, so you can read between the lines. And they'd just done, I've taken a lot of these bikes in part exchange, and they had price tags on, and they were very cheap, I thought. So I decided to buy one. There was just enough room on the trailer for one more. So I sneaked it on the trailer. And Mrs. Mechanic didn't realise until we got to Picton, which was brilliant. I almost made it all the way home without realising I'd gone and bought, yet again, another motorcycle. She just sort of sighed in disbelief, and we got on with life. It's all good. But a good little bike, and it did start. Didn't run for very long. There's fuel flow into the float bowl problem. So whether those carbs have got a little tiny, as Suzuki do on their carbs, a little tiny gauze filter on the side of the carb on the inlet for the fuel, or whether it's a problem, with the float valve itself, or what, I just don't know. Maybe the float bowl's full of crap. I've no idea. But it did run, and it filled the workshop with two-stroke smoke, and it was a wonderful moment. It really was. I'm sure the neighbours weren't over chuffed, but as it drifted across their garden. But it was good for me. So my answer, I'll just say addicted 69. How's that? Is Yamaha, and that's a genuine answer. Jim K, Suzuki. Well, that's your vote, Jim. And then I have had some Suzuki two-strokes over the years. I had a Suzuki Beamish, and it was an absolute pig of an engine. It really was. Anyway, right. Simon, you bought garden tools, so you have to stay. Yes, we did buy some garden tools. Right, hang on. We're going to go and do a little tour of these bikes. Okay, turning you around. 3. Oh, hang on. You can't look at that bit. There's an engine on the bench that you're not allowed to see. Right, 3, 2, 1. There you look, Holly's bike. Yes, there we are. Perfect. Right. Where do we start? Let's start over here. Okay, so we've got the two brothers. All right, so what is it? I don't know, TF125. Old ones, very, very old. These two were given to me by a gentleman called Peter from Invercargill that works at Rogers Motorcycles. They've been behind his garage for many, many years. And as you can see, they've managed to develop this beautiful patina on the fuel tank. Look at that. That is genuine, and that's what boosts the value of these machines. Probably by about 5 million%. Yeah. Neither of them would even push around. One of them had a seized rear brake. One of them had a seized front brake. Oh, this was the seized front brake one. Look there, you see, because I've unseized that, so I can actually struggle to push it around. And that one, they've obviously cut the chains because they're all rusty. That one had seized up on the rear. But now at least they push around. This one's done. What's it done? Look at that. It's done 6,656 kilometers around a farm. That's a lot of work. It's not as much as I've seen on some bikes, but it's a fair bit, to be fair. Obviously, I've not even attempted to try and start these things. Right, hang on. How far's this one gone? Oh, this one's a baby, look, 3,781. So they've done nothing. They're like new bikes. Well, they should be. Yeah. I think these will just be parts bikes. Possibly. I don't know. Maybe just strip downs and autopsies to find out why they were put in a barn for the first, in the first instance. Why did they give up on these two bikes? I don't know. I don't know any history behind them. But then I spotted this one. This is the last one that I bought. And other than the seat, this thing is actually not in bad nick. Even the steering head bearings don't feel too bad. I was just so surprised how cheap the bike was. I paid $200 for this bike. That's right, 200 bucks. It's nothing. Not really. And the dealer has got some more. Yes, they have. And I'm tempted. I might pick some more up when I go down next time. I just don't know. But I thought, 200 bucks for a little bike to charge around. And, look at the engine. It's still actually pretty clean. I don't know what year this one is. It's probably about 15, maybe 16. I don't know. Suzuki have stopped making these now. You can't buy these anymore. So therefore, it's a classic. This one has done 17,099 kilometers. This one has done more distance than the other two put together. Yet it looks in much better nick, doesn't it? There is a bit of a dent. Oh, they do like these fuel tank covers on the farms. I don't know why. But look at that. It's still shiny. But it has got a dent somewhere. Where's the dent? Oh, maybe on the other side. I don't know. Has it got a dent? Yes. Let's have a wander around. Hang on. Let's have a wander around because I can't get to it this side. Tell me if you're getting bored. We'll go back to the bench. But I think this is pretty cool stuff. Oh, so where's the dent? There he is. Look. It has a dent. Look at that. A big dent actually. It's got a dent with a crease, which is bad. That's all right. It's all part of the bike. So there you go. I think we're missing a pipe. It's been leaking fuel. Look at the state of that carburetor. Look. It's got a few dodgy wires hanging down. But other than that, it's even the bash guard's pretty straight. The gear lever's straight. Even the foot pegs aren't massively worn out. It's still got both stands. The chain still turns around. There's no oil on it, but it's not bad. I don't think there's any broken spokes. Tires are still usable. 200 bucks. It's a bargain. And then Roger Heaps gave me this. The grandfather of these bikes. This is a 185, CT 185, I believe. It is. There, look. A mud bug. It's very cool. Very cool sticker on there. I like that. Now, of course, I've not even attempted to try and start this machine. I think the forks might need a bit of a polish. It's got the patina. It's got the completely shagged seat. Look at that. But it's a classic. I think there'll be some common parts. Even the rear shocks look the same on the 125. So who knows? Who knows what I'm going to do with this? I just don't know yet. Does it stay in its current format and just become a relic of past times? Or do I try and get it going? Do I try and restore it? Can I still get parts for it? I don't know. But it's a very cool bike. And there's so many common parts. I mean, look at that. You see, the rack almost looks identical. 20 years later. Same rack, just no indicators. This one has got indicators. This one went on the road. Somebody spent a lot of time. Look, up on the handlebars, look. Indicator. This thing's been on the road. Even got a little indicator telltale that somebody's made a bracket for to get it on the road. And it's done. Oh, hang on. Don't do that. It's telling me to rotate the device. What have we got? 17,979 kilometers. And the bike is still doing, by the way, 75 kilometers an hour. Or is it? Oh, no, it's just... No, it's not. That's a twig. Sorry, I thought that was... No, we're actually at 0. That's good. Yes, but I think it's almost... Is it the same speedo? Let's have a look. It looks identical. It's got the neutral light on there. Has that got a neutral light? It has got a neutral light. So that's got another light in it, that I think, over here. Main beam. And that doesn't have the main beam. Well, that's no bloody good. That's got a main beam telltale. But at least, yeah, we can swap parts around and make it work. It's all good. I mean, what's the switchgear like? It's still got the... Oh, it's a bit seized. Oh, that still sort of works. That's pretty cool. Throttle's seized up. Hey, And, okay, that's enough of that one for now. I'm sure you'll see lots more of that in the future at some point. Look at this. The jewel in the crown of this barn find trip. I can't believe how well the trip came together, actually. Look at that. Unbelievable. And this one has only done 3,417 kilometers, and the speedo is in really good nick. No cracked glass, hasn't faded. Even tells you when to change gear in high ratio, and if you're in low ratio. That is one cool speedo, I must admit. And this bike was absolutely free, just like Roger's. Yes, it's got the little switch broken off on there, look, for the high and the low, but everything else is still there. Oh, the horn button's seized up. Engine kill. Oh, that's the same as the CB750's one, isn't it? I know what's inside there. We've got headlight switch on, off. That works fine. Good stuff. And of course, it's kickstarts. Right, so let's go around the front. I do like that there. And that was sold originally by Ewan Allen in Gore. I don't know if Ewan Allen is still in business. No idea. I've not seen his sign around. Very cool. Right. Let's have a quick squeeze at the front, and then we'll go back to the bench. One thing that I really liked about this bike is look at the strength of the front mudguard. It's got all riveted little clamps on it. You know, there's a lot of work going into making that front mudguard. Super strong. Very impressed. And it's got knobbly tyres, which is something that I would definitely have considered putting on it, because look at that. 70, 100 B17s. Yes, it might need some new spokes. Oh, and I noticed that the exhaust has completely rotted out just where it comes out of the head. Oh, look, the fuel tank's got... Ooh, hopefully it's not holed. Very cool. Oh, and the engine does turn over. I have kicked it over a couple of times. And it's had a crash. A little tiny crash. Look, the rack's bent. But I can fix that. Still takes your bacon butties, look. Pretty cool. Right, well, there you go. So many bikes. And I'm sorry the ATV couldn't be in the workshop as well. But I'm very happy. I am. I've no idea when I'm going to get around to doing them though. I think I might do a will it start video today on the CT110. That's the plan, because I know that runs. I know that runs. I want to know if that runs. Can I get that to run? You know, on a single video. I don't know. Time will tell. Will I ever try to start those two? I doubt it. I don't know. Maybe. We'll see. One day. Maybe. I should do, really, because starting them up is the fun bit, isn't it? Okay, back to the bench. Right, said Fred. Put you back on charge, because I've got to keep full power for when I'm doing a video later on the CT110. Will it start? That's the video. Will it start? Oh my word, where are we? Let me go back. Oh my god. Yes, here we go. Look, right. Bob Kinney. Gotta run, guys. Chasing me out of Cruising Cafe. Catch you mates later. No worries, Bob. Have fun. Enjoy your ride. Addicted 69, or call me ATP. ATP. Oh, okay. Can do. ATP. That's easier. Simon, have you got a sonic tank for calves, Andy? One of the best tools I have. Simon, not yet. It is on my list. I will be getting one. It won't be this coming week, though, because I'm poor. Although I've got 20 bucks. I have. It hasn't come through yet. Wait, it'll arrive at some point. It will. Now then. So, Simon, I will definitely get one of those. That's the plan. Banana Brooks. Ooh, I'm a Yamaha man, but CR250 Honda motocrosses were fantastic. I think they were. I remember in the UK, when Super Motard first started to get going, there was a guy down the road that got a CR500 rebuilt in. He used to do, I forget the guy's name now, but he used to do plastic coating. You know, where you take the frame in, they shot blast it all off, and then they plastic coat it and put it in an oven, you know, that kind of stuff. He used to do that, and he'd done that to this bike. It's a CR500, full super motard spec, fully registered for the road, and it was a weapon, an absolute wheelie monster. He was a big lad, and he used to love riding it around. Everywhere he went, he was on that bike. I was only a kid at the time, but I was, I think, well, I say a kid, I think I just started riding. I might have been, I don't know, 14, 15. I wasn't riding on the road then, I don't think, from memory. ATP. What's the #1 tool brand in your country for wrenches and sockets? Gee, well, Teng Tools are very quickly catching up. I don't know what their market share is. Is it Sidichrome? Blue toolboxes. Obviously, there's a bit of Snap-on around, but Snap-on's nowhere near as popular here as it was in the UK. Just crazy money. Tools in general in New Zealand are very expensive anyway compared to England. But obviously Snap-on are even more, basically. Just silly money. But techs still go out and buy the roll cabs for $10,000 and stuff. Can't get my head around it, in all honesty. Especially when they're first starting out in that career. They've not really, you know, they're in the first, second, or maybe third year, and they go out and spend all that, or commit themselves to that kind of money. It's a big, you know, okay, they're committed to the job, but they don't earn that much, and it takes them a long time to pay it off. What's the most common? Geez, there's Top Tool. There's a few of those around. They're not that popular though. In all honesty, out of the workshops that I go into, Teng has a huge presence now. It wasn't so much when I first started here in New Zealand, you know, I first came over, but now, sort of 12 years down the line, there's a lot of Teng tools out there. I wouldn't say Teng is the leader though, but I think there is a lot of Snap-on, but only more the senior techs really. Some of the young lads aspire to that, don't they? I don't know. I don't know what the lead one is at the moment. It has changed. Hang on, let me scroll back. Here we go. Look, ATP. Oh, you're a Suzuki fan. I like Suzukis. I prefer Yamahas. You know, but they can't be shown on the channel, so I can't have those here. Basically, I can't do anything on them. I've got plenty of Yamahas out in the garden, but I can't do anything with them on the channel. ATP. So I'm guessing you prefer Suzuki over Yamaha or Honda. I like all of them, to be honest, for different reasons. Yamaha is my preferred brand. It always has been. It always will be. Honda, I find, are a little bit overcomplicated on things like cam chains and stuff, which really annoy the crap out of me. They can be a bit fiddly. Things can be a little bit tight. I find Yamahas are easier to work on, and the service manuals from Yamaha are so much easier to get your head around. A lot of the, you know, we're talking about manuals of like sort of 10 years ago. You know, compared to the Honda ones, they are so much easier to interpret and not to get wrong. The Honda ones seem to jump all over the place, as we've seen in previous videos, especially on the CB750. Suzuki's, yeah, I don't have any problems with Suzuki, to be honest. Nowadays, they're not as well made as they used to be. The components are not as good a quality as they used to be. But in all honesty, that can be said about a lot of brands. It's not just Suzuki. But I consider myself, you know, a motorcyclist. I like to look at every bike's a good bike. You know, every bike's different. Every bike's a new experience. So I don't like to just be in one camp. You know, you can learn a lot from different designs and the way other manufacturers have done things. How did they solve a problem? And this is why I like taking old bikes apart to see, you know, the older Japanese stuff, to see where they've come from, to see what the roots are. What were they thinking back then? I mean, you look at some of the first quad bikes. In actual fact, the quad bike that I bought last week when I was in the South Island, you look at that and the design of the engine and the transmission and the layout. And I was actually given a second bike by somebody else, which was just I wouldn't even say a rolling chassis. It had two front wheels on it. The back end had already been taken out. It had an engine, had a front diff and stuff. And I stripped that down on Friday afternoon, I think it was. And it wasn't very easy to work on. Everything was massively heavy. That was one thing that really, really impressed me, was the thickness and the strength of the frame on that bike compared to ATVs that we see on the market now. Huge difference. The frames are so much lighter, the tubing's so much smaller diameter, so much thinner wall. What's the reason for that? Why have they, is it purely a cost-saving thing, or was it when they were first designing quad bikes, four-wheel quad bikes, hence quad, not ATCs, when they were first designing them, were they concerned that the frames would need all this additional strength? Were they trying to make them so rigid they wouldn't flex at all? Whereas now, has the design permitted some flex? I don't know, but the weight of that frame, once I'd taken the engine out and it was a bare frame, the weight of the frame was phenomenal. And, a modern ATV frame is quite light in comparison. So, yeah, I know I ramble on, but I wouldn't want to just say, no, I'm a Yamaha man, that's it. I'm not interested in any other model or make of bike. That would be quite naive, I think, really, and very, very blinkered. Jim K, just needs some fresh fuel and some Suzuki CCI. Yes. Banana Brooks. Yes, you can still get service parts for the chicken chases. Excellent. HFTG. Good evening. Good evening, HFTG. Roger Heaps. Heavy snow collapsed shed on the 185. Until then, the speedometer still worked. 185 was up spec model and had indicators, etc. Wow. You see, I didn't know any. I've not done the background research. I have got a friend at Suzuki. Oh God, I haven't even cleared the crap out of my eyes this morning. So once if I can get a frame number off it or an engine number off it or something off it to identify exactly what it is, I will email him and ask for more information, a bit of background. If he's got any sort of marketing material that he can send me relating to that bike, that'd be very cool. Obviously, I want to find out exactly the year of manufacture, ideally the month, where it was made, no doubt Japan, which factory in Japan, and then when I've got that ID, then I can start to search for correct parts for it. But it's not going to happen straight away. In actual fact, I'm having to change the whole way that I do projects, given these massive delays in parts supply. I mean, the CB750 is still here, still waiting for the paintwork to come back, the panels and stuff. We're still waiting for that top clamp to turn up. That's going to be at least another 6 weeks away. And then I think we're about done. Holly's bike, still waiting for some parts to arrive. Rear wheel spindle, rear wheel's being rebuilt, got to pick that up. That's up north. Other than that, I think we're not far off. There's a few little bits and pieces. I have managed to secure another front wheel. That's on its way. Steel rim one. That's coming from Kai Tai Motorcycles. They found me one. Bonnie's been really good searching out parts. Wasn't over expensive. I'm hoping the spokes will be good, so I don't have to get it respoked, because that's a big chunk of money. It's had a fair bit spent on it, to be honest. And I think we're about the limit of the budget, so we've got to finish it off with what we've got, basically. Look at that. That's quality, that is. I wonder how much sugar's in it. Thanks, Roger. Yes, you and Alan still sell Hondas in Gore. I need to go and see him. See if he's got any original sale documents for that bike. I'll do that. because that will help immensely in getting it back on the road. Mike Bizansky, like my toy barn, the land of misfit toys. Does seem that way, doesn't it? I mean, if you put all the bikes in the garden, it looks like a junkyard, to be honest. When they're in the workshop, a bit more, presentation, they've got a bit more credibility. And I do wheel most of them. I mean, the CT110 and the 185 and the newer TF 125. They all came in the garage last night. Got to keep them safe. Jim Haynes, all of these be ready to roll by Christmas, maybe. Yeah, right, Jim. That's not going to happen. These are future projects. I have to finish Holly's bike. I have to finish the CB750. I have to get Jared's buggy done this year. And then, and only then, can I begin on other projects. However, like I was saying, I'm having to change the way I'm doing projects. There'll no doubt be an appraisal on the CT110. I'll make an initial parts list and we'll start to get those underway because, even if they arrive a couple of months in advance, that'd be great, but they could take months and months and months to get here, and they'll just sit in a drawer ready for that project to begin. And hopefully then we can turn projects around a little bit quicker because, I think, 6 months would be great. A year is too long in my book. And the CB750 is not far away from being a year long. It's not good. ID CT reminded me of a chally. A chally or something. What's a chally? I don't know what a chally is. Banana Brooks. Suzuki oil pumps serve oil to the bottom ends. Don't be tempted to junk the pump for premix only. Okay. I will be getting a service manual. I can get those. I have a good contact for Suzuki service manuals. Joseph Pitaluga. Hello, Andy from Sardinia. Sardinia. Wow, not sardines. Sardinia in Italy. Well, Joseph, welcome to the channel. Pleasure to have you here. John Dwyer. Hey, Andy, how's the ponytail hanging? I have no idea. Still there. I think it's all right. It's looking a bit scruffy today. That's fine. Jim Haynes. The Kenny Roberts 350 Yamahas are probably the nearest two strokes. The neatest, sorry, nearest or neatest? The nearest two strokes ever. I think they were awesome bikes, to be honest. I really do. Thanks, Jim. John Dwyer, come on, crew, hit the thumbs up button and it helps with your YouTube algorithms. It does. We've got 35 people in the workshop and we've got 32 likes. I'm pretty happy with that, to be honest. We're doing all right. Remember, this is an exclusive club. We don't have lots and lots of people coming down. It's just me and a few of you guys. And that's fine. Now, John, oh my word, John Nuttall. Do you have a Kawasaki in your stable? No, I don't actually. That's the one brand that I don't have. I did get given, oh God, what the hell was it? It was a Kawasaki. Is it a KH100 or 125? Little two-stroke commuter bike. God, I'm going from memory now, aren't I? Yeah, that looks about right. It was a reddy orange one. Yeah, that'd be the one. So I was given that by a friend of mine. Well, it was an employee, Pete. My brother was living with us, Ollie, and he used Cyril, which was a CM200 twin, my college motorcycle. Awesome bike, wish I still had it, loved it to bits. Little tiny custom bike thingy. There was one came up for sale in Nelson, a black one, about 18 months ago. Went for $1,000. Should have bought it, didn't buy it. kicked myself afterwards. Anyway, this Kawasaki got given to us, and the plan was to get it done up and put it on the road so Ollie could ride that rather than riding my CM200. Unfortunately, it never happened. It sat in the barn for a couple of years, or the back of the shed actually, at the barn. It sat at the back of the shed for a couple of years. It was the shed that we had the shot blasting cabinet, we had a wood burning stove, and we had the time machine, the wheel balancer, and Ben's buggy as well used to live in there. Yeah. And then when we left the UK, it got left in the shed, unfortunately, and probably got taken by somebody and went somewhere. I don't know where it's gone now. And the same with Cyril. Cyril was in the garden. Cyril had died a few years earlier. And Cyril, I found him in somebody's garden when I was a student, and it had a rose bush growing through the frame and up past the tank. So I gave him £50 for it, I think it was. Took it home, and that afternoon I had it running, and by the end of the week it was on the road, and I used it every single day. It was a fantastic little bike, and it seemed fit that when I left, it should be left in a garden again, and that's what happened. Cyril went back to where I found him, although it was a different garden, if you know what I mean. I couldn't bring him with me. I had no spare room on the trailer. Hang on, I've got to scroll back a bit. Yes, so sorry, John, no Kawasaki's at the moment. My brother used to race the Kawasaki KX125s and 250s when he was about, when he was 15, 16, so that sort of age. Then he had a really bad accident and he couldn't race anymore, unfortunately. Simon, Honda do massively over-engineer things. I don't disagree. They also massively complicate things. Pete. Hi, Andy. Sorry I'm late. That's all right, Pete. Reynolds Flores Luna. Oh my God, it's in Spanish. Saludos. I can't do it. I can see Kit Fluke. Automotive book. Question. You're gonna have to put it in English, Reynolds. I just can't. My Spanish is second was thank you. That's about as good as it gets, mate. I can order beer, I can order a Lomo, and probably find the exit for the nightclub, but that's about as good as it gets when it comes to Spanish. John Dwyer, I've just bought a Kawasaki KH350 triple for £500. Runs and drives perfect. Well, I did have a couple of, what are the Kawasaki's? I did have a Kawasaki I think it was a Z400. 4-stroke, obviously. And when I bought it, it had a big white Rickman's fairing on the front and panniers and stuff. It really was an old man's bike. And I was only probably, I don't know, 15 or 16, maybe 17 at the time. Yeah, probably 17. Yeah, I must have been 17. Must have been 17. And so I stripped the whole thing down, sprayed the frames, got the fuel tanks sprayed, so I rebuilt the whole thing, got it back on the road. Looked real tidy. I need to try and dig out some photos of the old bikes that I built up, because they are quite interesting. Maybe I'll try and get Mrs. Mechanic to find those for us. She'll know where they are. And I was riding around the A64 ring road around York, and it was pouring down a rain. I had my now brother-in-law on the back, Danny. Didn't have a full motorcycle license, by the way. I was still on my learners, I think. Bike wasn't registered for it wasn't legal. It had a number plate on, but it had no road tax or MOT. I don't remember. And I was overtaking. There was 2 trucks, and I was overtaking the first truck. We got past the first truck, and it's like I said, it was pouring down a rain, and the rear tire blew out. And I just got past the first truck, and all of a sudden the wobbles started, and managed to, the truck driver obviously saw what was going on. He backed off big time and gave me some space, and I managed to sneak in between the 2 trucks, wobbling my way across the lanes. And then I dropped it into there wasn't really a hard shoulder on that bit. It was just a concrete channel for the rainwater, like a semicircle. We actually just dropped into that, and the water, I put my feet down, the water slowed us down real quick. Obviously we got absolutely drenched, but we did get stopped pretty quick, and we didn't fall off, which was quite nice. And I remember my Uncle Ted, obviously I had to ring somebody and say, oh, can you come and get us? So I rang Ted rather than ring my dad. And Ted brought the shop van out and picked us up. But sure enough, when we arrived back at the garage, at Dad's garage, we used to have a Nissan Renault dealership. When we arrived back, Dad was not too pleased at all. You know, the fact that I've been riding a motorcycle without any insurance and no road tax and no MOT and probably no license either. I was in for the high jump and I didn't do it again. I got a severe bollocking for it. So there you go, John. That's my little story of Kawasaki's. And I did survive, which was quite nice. No injuries. ATP. From my testing of various brands, I found the Snap-on has a higher hardness than German brands, and Taiwan a softer metal. At the end of the day, with tools, I think you do get what you pay for, but I also believe with Snap-on, you are paying part of that. The price of the tool is for the brand name. It's not just directly related to quality of the tool. You know, it's a bit like Land Rover. I know somebody's going to kill me for this, but you seem to pay more money for a Land Rover product, you know, than just what the value of the vehicle is. If you understand what I mean, you know, you can go and buy an equivalent Toyota or an equivalent Nissan, and they would be cheaper and probably more reliable as well. Yeah, so not really. I'm a huge fan of Land Rover from their marketing perspective. They did some brilliant adverts, and I'm a huge fan of the iconic element of what a Land Rover stands for and where it came from. But I'm not a fan of basically the unreliability. Running an off-road driving centre for 13 years, I've seen thousands and thousands of Land Rovers arrive on site to have fun off-roading with the family, and I've seen quite a lot of them go back on a flatbed trailer because they've broken. Now that might not be down to a manufacturing fault or or a defect. I mean, a lot of Land Rovers got modified, and it may well be the modifications that the customer had made to the vehicle that caused the failure. Who really knows? But I did see a lot go back on trailers, and that was bad. So I never bought Land Rovers. I always used to buy Japanese stuff. Suzuki Jeeps and Nissan Patrols. That was my chosen weapons. Or those were. So yeah, tools. Get what you pay for, I think. But I think also that you can spend way too much money on tools, and you could get a lot more for your money if you just bought something, a bit like the old Teng brand. I think they're very good quality. They're not premium. They're not the same quality as Snap-on. They can't be, because they're a hell of a lot cheaper. But they are really, really good, and I find them super reliable. And in fact, I think I've lost more Teng than I have broken. So that's probably a good sign, isn't it? Although I would rather not lose stuff, to be fair. ATP. Fascinating that the Taiwanese Teng tools are popular there with professional mechanics. They are. They're not a bad tool. I mean, I've got plenty of them now, and I've used them for years and years and years. And believe it or not, Teng tools, it was a Teng socket set that I bought in Loughborough. Now, I understand they'd only been going for a couple of years when I bought that socket set, and it lasted me forever. It was, I mean, again, lost most of the sockets out of it now. I'm sure the ratchet's given up. That will have gone a few years ago, well, many years ago. But I will still have somewhere in a box in one of the sheds, buried under other boxes, some of the original sockets from that kit, and maybe a T-bar, an extension bar and stuff. So eventually, when I clear that shed out, which will happen one day, those tools will get merged into the main workshop. I can't imagine why I've left them in there, but I'm pretty sure that that's where they are. Jim Haynes. Neatest. Yes, very much so, Jim. I think they were awesome bikes. I really do. I think the era of especially the RD 500s as well. When they hit the track, they just obliterated the competition. They were just phenomenal machines. very rare now. There are, to my knowledge, 2 or 3 here in New Zealand. There was one in Devonport, in Auckland, that came up for a warrant of fitness, and man, it was absolutely immaculate. It was a pleasure to put a warrant on that bike. And even though I should have taken the bike for a ride as part of the warrant of fitness, with it being a classic, and the fact the guy brought it down on a trailer, he did start it for me, but he asked me very politely if I would mind not taking the bike for a ride, because it was just worth so much. So I honoured that, and I said, oh, you know, it's fine, I won't take it for a ride. We did the brake test, you know, we just pushed it along, and the brakes were just phenomenal on it. So it was a case of, mate, there's not an issue. There's your warrant of fitness. But I only ever saw it once. I don't know where it's gone now. That was probably 7 or 8 years ago, at least, actually. Oh, hang on. Simon, the CT manuals are on there too. On where? What was your last one? Where are they, Simon? We go back. I'm scrolling. You can't see this, but I'm scrolling. Okay. I can get the CT manuals anyway. On that, from that part supplier in Australia. Okay, cool. Because I will definitely need that. Pete, I had a 78 Kawasaki KZ650 when I was in my 20s. It was a great bike. KZ650. KZ. Let's have a look. Kawasaki. KZ650. Oh, nice. So that must have just been the later version of the Z650. Oh, sorry, the Z. Okay. Yeah, I have the Z400. Very Japanese, isn't it? Classic style. And Kawasaki were well known for that shape of fuel tank, weren't they? Like a teardrop style, almost teardrop style tank on it. Very cool. Ace Rimmer bought a few things based on Project Farm's videos. Very thorough testing. Yes, I do watch Project Farm on a regular basis. I like his videos because they're not too long. I know I make stupidly long videos, and they're very much to the point. It's very factual testing. It's dum. It's not really opinion based. It's just, these are the facts, these are the results, this is what you should buy. Sometimes there's, you know, a couple of winners. I suppose there's a you know, cheap but pretty good, and there's a expensive but very good option sometimes. But yeah, it's great videos. Very must be very interesting for him to work out what tests to do to highlight, you know, the different characteristics of whatever he's testing, to get the data. Chopper's Rule 1. G'day, mate. How's it going? Chopper's Rule 1. It's going just fine. I'm having breakfast. We've got no pie today, and I found this in the cupboard, and it's not bad. I have no idea how old it is. Joseph, Peter Luger, talking about barn finds. A couple of months ago, I found at home in a box the owner's manual of a 1981 Yamaha XT500, Yamaha XT600Z, Honda XL125. I used to have one of those. I used to have a Honda XL125R. It was a white one. And Honda XL200R. I had an XR200. It might have been the R. I think it was. XR200R. And then later on I bought an XR400R. And it was the last one without electric start. I wish I'd waited for the electric start. Anyway, they're all like brand new. Wow. So that's the owner's manuals. You want to keep all of those, mate. Somebody will definitely want to buy those off you. Chopper's Rule 1. I forgot to send you an email about the Subaru Brumby ignition. I think you did. I haven't seen it. Simon, Z in the UK. Ah, here we go. Look, Z in the UK, KZ in the States, I believe. Right, that makes more sense. So that was the next one up, probably. So I had the 400 and that was the 650. Chopper's Rule 1. I'm waiting for my breakfast to cook. I'm having 2-minute noodles for breakfast. Oh, seriously. I have a surprise for you. Now, let me think how I can rig this up. I need something. I know, I'll just show you. So yesterday, I did a video. It hasn't come out yet. I haven't edited it yet. And the video was on another winch. I know, I can hear you shouting already, Andy. Stop doing videos on winches. We're not interested. We want you to do motorbikes. But that's the thing. I don't just do motorcycles. I do whatever really comes into the workshop. ATVs, I've got loads of ROVs to sort out. Honestly, while I was away, my phone just never stopped ringing. Anyway, got given this winch, was told it doesn't work. So I thought, well, okay, last video on winches, different model of winch, still a 1. Let's do a video. Not in-depth diagnostics because they were all done on the previous videos, but let's just get into there and see what we find. Can I give you a spoiler? I can give you guys a spoiler alert because there's only 39 of them. It bloody worked. It worked. So I tested the contactor block first. Now it was a different brand, fair enough, that had already been replaced at some point. It worked. It checked out fine. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? So then, of course, I put a power supply, jump leads onto the motor, and it worked. It spooled in and spooled out, and I'm like, shit. There's my video gone. You know, what use is a video if you don't find a fault? That's the whole idea of it. And because it works, I felt no benefit in stripping down the motor, to be honest. So the one thing we didn't do on the previous videos, the winch videos, is we didn't actually do a motor load test. Yes, we did a current load test using the battery load tester, the snap-on one with a button, which is a bit cumbersome in the videos, but it did the job. And it's what I've always done, but not easy to film. We didn't actually load up obviously we couldn't on the previous videos because that winch didn't work. But on this one, in that video, I actually bolt the winch to the workbench and rig it up so that it lifts a load. Sure, it's not got the same kind of pull load on it as it would have on it if it was, you know, trying to extract an ROV out of a big bog. But, you know, it did allow us to get the components hot, and the fault was found. Pretty much found. It was identified to which component was failing, and we stripped that component down and we inspect it, and I did do some work, internal fixes, or fix potentially that component. And now it's undergoing final testing, and so I've put it back into use so that I can basically see if the problem reoccurs, and if it does, I can report back to you guys. So without further ado, this is what I did after I made the video. A bit of a behind the scenes thing. Here we go. Oh, right. So let's start on this side. We have a battery. Yes, I made a little battery box. And yes, the battery lives in the rafters. You may say to me, Andy, that's a strange place to put a battery, Andy. And I'd agree with you. It really is. But, where's my steps? Hang on. Let me get my steps. I have to try and keep a particular thing out of shot today because I didn't hide it. And I'll get into trouble, possibly. Right. So, let's have a little look up here. Right. So you might recognise the speed holes. Yes, these are a couple of spare brackets that I made that I cut down. And yes, I did bolt my beams. And I said I would never bolt hole or drill holes in my beams, but anyway. So there you go. It's all plumbed up. I even made a battery clamp for it because I didn't want it falling on my head. there we are. Right, so we got that bit. Oh, and then we go around this side. Are you ready for this? Are you ready? Are you ready? Okay. So we've got, going up in the world, the contactor block is now mounted to the beam. So we've got, what we've got here, we've got battery positive coming in, and we've got battery negative coming in. Sorry, crap camera work. Battery positive, battery negative. And then these two go to the winch motor. Yes, they're red and black, but they just happen to be red and black cables, just to confuse you. And then we have a winch. Now I haven't rigged up the switch. Oh shit! I need to off the steps. Hang on, with me. Got to go back a bit. Oh yeah, right. Don't want to fall off the steps. Right. So we've got. I haven't rigged up the Lancy buttony thing yet. We've just got some wires. In true Andy fashion. Okay, so we've got here the black wire is basically battery negative, and these two, hang on, oh god, that's not going to work. Hang on, got to get my head around this now. How did I wire it up before? That's right, so we don't even need that. We need a battery positive, which is that one. Oh, there we are. Right, so that should work, he says. Ha ha ha. Right, here we go. Oh, that's in. Hang on, we'll do it better out. Right. Look at that. It needs some weight on it. Oh, I've pulled my wire off now. Stick that back in there again. Can't see shit. Right. Okay, so that one. Battery positive. Yes, there we go. Oh, yeah. Bloody good. So we now have a winch in the workshop. Hang on. There is it. Ha! Got it. So look at that. We've got a winch. Pretty cool. Very, very happy with that. So I've positioned it there so that when I have an ATV or an RRV in the workshop and I want to work on one end of it, I can just dangle the winch down, lift it off the ground and chuck the axle stand under without pissing around with a trolley jack. That's the plan. And obviously over these next few weeks I've got lots to service, so it's going to get a bit of work and we'll see if it fails again. Or if it doesn't, we'll see, I'll have fixed it, which is pretty cool. So yes, not a bad little installation. And of course I still need to rig up the battery charging device, which will be plugged into the mains, but like a little trickle charger that will always be on, and that'll manage the battery for me. And of course these are not permanent, this is just temporary stuff. I was going to mount some kind of switch gear either off the beam, or I might even stick it like under the bench down here somewhere and just run the wiring round and up, because I've got plenty of twin core cabling and stuff. Right, okay, turning the camera around again. 3, 2, 1. There we are. So hopefully it did sort of work. It didn't work as well. My demonstration didn't quite work as well as planned, or as I'd hoped. But I think you've got the idea that we've now got a winch mounted into one of the beams, and I can lift stuff up, which is great. And I actually use an old Suzuki ATV engine, which weighed, well, you'll find out in the video. It weighed quite a bit actually. Okay. John Nuttall, it's a pie chart. Choppers rule 1. I like the surprise. You can send me any one of those motorcycles in the background. Oh, I like surprises. Yeah, I'll put it in a box for you. Brendan Lee Grant Mills, hi. Brendan Lee Grant Mills, hi Andy. How are you this week? I'm all right. I'm a bit knackered, to be honest. It was a pretty full-on trip to the South Island. We covered, what did we say, about 2,800 Ks. I was away for 9 days, so you think, well, that's not that many Ks for a 9-day period, and sure enough, I have driven a lot more than that. But I think the trip home, well, there just seemed to be a few days. There were some days I hardly any driving, and a lot of the driving was condensed into just a short number of days. And the last 2 days were pretty full on driving. So, you know, and I was working pretty hard, and I had lots of, you know, evening work to do. And I was up till like 11:30 one night doing emails. So it all adds up. It catches up with you, you know. Not a young lad anymore. I don't remember that. ATP. You're using a floating ground. Are we on the winch now? A floating ground. What do you mean by that? Oh, Mrs. Mechanic is moving the ute. I wonder if she's found enough change for some cigarettes. That will be good. Simon Raw. All that's missing is some charging cables for the battery. Yes. Pete. Sweet, that winch will come in very handy. It will. Simon. What about a remote control relay for the up and down? A remote control one? But if I had a remote control one, Simon, I'd lose the remote. I think what I'll do is I'll just get some, you know, some kind of switch gear where I think I'll mount it on the bench, because the bench isn't going to go anywhere. And I can just zip tie the cabling onto the bench, and it can just run up the back of the workshop and along the beam to the relay. Because I've got to remember that, you know, I've got to be somewhere near the hook and the control, because I want to be able to see what's going on. You know, when you're spooling out, you want to really put a bit of weight on the cable. As we saw, it can just bunch up on the drum. The drum turns, but the cable doesn't come out. But basically, the hook's not really heavy enough. So maybe that's what I need to do. I think she's gone to the shops in my ute. Ooh, that's naughty. I'll be having words. Oh, the mouse. I just saw the mouse. He ran that way, away from the lathe. Choppers Rule 1. I have the opportunity to pick up a GSX 600 Suzuki motorcycle. I was thinking about putting it in a go-kart or something else. Should be fun. If that engine was in a go-kart, it would be an absolute weapon. And quite a heavy engine, really. A big engine for a go-kart. In Jared's off-road buggy thing, not a full-on go-kart, we're going to fit. I've got a spare DR200 engine over there, same as in Holly's bike. That's earmarked to go in, because I've got all the electrics and everything, so, and the wiring diagram. So that should be really cool when I get around to it. Choppers Rule 1, or maybe a reverse trike out of it. Reverse trike, you mean 2 front wheels, 1 rear wheel, yeah? That would be cool. Oh, cold coffee now. So, no development in the background yet on Holly's. Golly, can't give too much away, can I? Holly's increased input to the channel. There you go. Can't say anything just yet. Haven't yet set the date for Holly to come down to do the filming on the last day of building the bike up. We're not that far away, to be honest. We'll easily smash it out over a weekend, so I can do a bit of other filming, and we could maybe do a photo shoot and stuff as well, just to fill in the time, because she'll be here for 2 full days. But no, it'd be fantastic, that bike done. Can't wait, actually. Very, very happy. I wish I'd done a video on doing the indicators, though. I do need to do a video, and that's something which I might do. Could have done it on the quad bike, because the quad bike that I bought is going to go on the road, so it's going to get a number plate, so it needs indicators, but it's the wrong brand, so I can't do a video on it. So maybe I'll do a video on an indicator system on the bench. Maybe that'll work, and then we can use Holly's bike as an example. Maybe. We'll see. When I get around to it. Got to work it out first. Okay, what time are we on? Hour and 25. Oh, we're not far off. Okay, crew. I think we've run out of comments by the looks of it. So you've got about another 5 minutes, and then I'm going to sign off. So now is the time to ask a few more questions. Just in the interim, while you're watching, if you'd like to support the channel, as was it Doctor of Computers? Was that his? I think it was. Just scrolling back. Where are we? Yes, Doctor of Computers. If you'd like to support the channel, yes, of course, you can do a super chat. However, you can also support the channel through Patreon and through PayPal, and there are links in the description for both of those. And I think there's little icons as well on the main homepage of the channel. Those that have supported the channel to date, thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. It's your donations, oh, pardon me, breakfast. Your donations that make things possible, and one of those things is, obviously Roger gave me his 185. Kevin down at Rogers Motorcycles found with the CT 110. There we are, look, that's better, isn't it? Which I'm very, very pleased about. Thank you again, Kevin. I do appreciate that. I know the guys down there do watch my videos. Peter, that gave me the 2 older TF 125s. And of course, thanks to the viewers, really, for putting the money in to buy the newer TF 125, which is basically how we did it. All the other bikes were given to me. Even the CT 110 was given. I didn't buy that. And of course, I did buy the quad bike. I didn't use viewers' money for that because, of course, it can't show on the channel anyway. That would be a bit silly. So I spent some of my hard-earned money on that one. And I can guarantee it one day in the future, maybe 5-10 years down the line, all those videos that I make on that particular brand, and I do still make videos on that brand, I just don't put them on the channel, obviously, because I'm not allowed to put them on the channel. I'm allowed to make videos, but that's my freedom. I can do whatever I want. It's just putting them on the channel that is the thing. Those videos, all those videos, there's about 80, maybe 90 videos now sat on my hard drive waiting to be uploaded at some point in the future. All those videos will hit the channel at some point, and some of them are quite in-depth, detailed diagnostic videos, something that I really enjoy doing, but take a long time to film. Anyway, Chopper's Rule 1. I can legally register here in Queensland, Australia. That should be a fun video to do, lol. Wow. So absolutely, you should make that bike, definitely. Chopper's Rule 1. I took the hot rod I made to a car show last weekend. It was a great success. I wish I'd taken a video of the day, but I was having too much fun. You need somebody else behind the camera. That's what I've come to the conclusion with, really. It makes it very difficult when you're trying to be on camera but also film. It makes it extremely difficult. Simon Raw, now you're not going to use the Suzuki 7-pin flasher relay though, lol. I am not. No, I came across that 7-pin flasher relay on the GSXR 750. Yes, that was fun. Worked it out. Don't ever want to go there again. So yes, Simon, you are correct. That will not happen. What else? Oh, another one. Hang on. John Nuttall. The use of stainless steel Allen keys in alloy cases. Good or bad idea? Oh, do you mean the stainless steel cap heads, right? The Allen key bolts in alloy cases. Stainless steel. Pretty sure I used to do that. In fact, we did on the little Yamaha Breeze 125 quad bikes that we did. The original engine casing screws, they were machine screws, and we used to rebuild those things on a regular basis because they used to get They used to work really, really hard, those little bikes. We took all the machine screws out, and we actually made our own kit to replace them with stainless steel. Now, the stainless steel, this is how I understand it, stainless steel cap heads over a standard cap head bolt are 16% stronger metal, basically. So there's less chance of rounding the Allen key head, or rounding the head with your Allen key when you use stainless steel. And that was the main reason why we used stainless steel. We never had any problems. Simon, what do you think? Is it a concern? I've never had a problem. Why wouldn't you use stainless steel cap heads as engine casing bolts? I think it's a great idea, and I've never had any problems. Choppers with one. Yes, I agree. I need a camera person. Can I borrow one of yours? But the camera person is me. I do all the camera work. Every now and again, I do let Holly grab the camera. Yes, I had to say that, the camera, and film, from her perspective. It's not very often. But again, I'm sure it'll happen more in the future. It's quite nice to have a camera that actually the camera's moving around. It sort of keeps movement on the screen. Having a static camera all the time and the background just stays completely still does get a little bit boring sometimes. And I do try to also mix up the view perspective in the videos. But often if I'm doing like an autopsy and I'm taking something apart, I'm so intrigued to get in and get the whole thing stripped that I keep forgetting to stop and pause, move the camera angle, and then continue. So that I'm sure it is detrimental to the video by not doing that. But there's so much to think about when you're making a video. It's actually not easy making videos. It really isn't. Just out of interest, if you get bored, if you get an opportunity, go on to the Bayride Motorcycles YouTube channel. They're in a place called Taronga, on the east coast of the North Island. They have all the videos that I made for Yamaha on their YouTube channel, so you can watch those if you want. Very different kind of videos to what I make here in the workshop. Interesting, informative, maybe. The two newest ones in fact, I think they're on there. Let me have a look. I think they are. He said he was going to put them up. Let's have a look. So I've just searched Bayride Motorcycle, and it's come up with and they got 54 subscribers. Good job, Damien. Oh no. Oh, I thought they'd all disappeared for a second then. No, they're all on there. Is the Armax on there? No. He hasn't put the Armaxes on yet. The Armax videos. I wonder if they're on the Yamaha New Zealand one. Let's have a look. Are they on there? That's the one. 1,500 subscribers. Okay, videos. Ag 125, Ag 200, Grizzly. Hardly any views though. Cardiac. Oh. Yes. Wolverine Armax 4 is on there, and the Wolverine Armax 2 is on there as well. So they're both there. So you can have a bit of a laugh and see me talking about those particular models. And the Armax ones, I think, are the best videos out of all of them. They're the most recent ones. It was a classic day when we filmed those. But yeah, if you get bored, have a look. Pretty cool. Now, more comments. You just don't want to let me go, do you? So no, sorry, you can't borrow one of my camera girls. Pete, thanks, Andy. I look forward to your videos. Have a great weekend. I have to go. No problem, Pete. Thank you very much for joining us. Simon Roll, stainless has a lot less chance of galvanic corrosion. There you go. Another reason probably why we use them, because they don't corrode so much. But I think the main reason was they were a little bit stronger, less chance of breakage. Choppers rule 1. I have to go, mate. The dog just ate my noodles. Got to guard your noodles. Connor K. I watched all of those Yamaha videos. Thought they were good. Nice machinery. Well, thanks, Connor. I appreciate the feedback. Very different presentation. That's what I normally do. Simon, there is galvanic corrosion charts on like showing how metals react to each other. Cool. John Nuttall, Simon, is that true? As that's what I was meaning. Good or bad idea? I think it's a good idea because there's less corrosion on the stay between stainless and aluminium. There you go. Simon says, good job, Simon. Appreciate that. Okay, crew. Well, we're 5 minutes over. Okay, so we've done another live stream. These live streams, I haven't looked back at the original, the first date, or the date of the very first live stream, but we must be a year in now. So for those that have joined me through this whole year since we had our first lockdown here in New Zealand, thank you very, very much. Just having you with me in the workshop every Sunday morning, or nearly every Sunday morning, has been really helpful. It's been encouraging, it gives me motivation, and it's just nice to have a bit of a friendly chat and a bit of a catch up. I don't find doing live streams a task in any way, shape or form. It gets me out of bed on a Sunday morning and I enjoy the conversation. When I'm making proper videos, some days it's hard, you're just not in the mood to make a video, but I never find that I'm not in the mood to do a live stream. So thank you very much. Okay, crew. Well, until next Sunday, I'll see you then. Thanks for all your help. Cheers. Over and out.